Good morning. I'm Steve from LZ23 Strength, where we exert ourselves, we elevate our health, and we evolve in mind and body. Today's topic, we're going to talk about motivation. Seems like we live in a world today where motivation sometimes is hard to come by, a number of different reasons. I just saw a video about Japan, very fascinating video, and it was about a book a gentleman wrote entitled Low Desire Society. And sounds like right now there's a crisis in Japan where people aren't motivated for all sorts of things. So I feel that's not an isolated case, that people aren't motivated in a lot of places. So we're going to talk about 7 strategies for staying motivated. Just to start it off, I wanted to show you this. When I was young, that's when I first got into exercising, and I really got into bodybuilding, following it. I still follow it, and I probably had 500 magazines over the years. Probably only got about 50 now. I kind of regret getting rid of a lot of them, but it was motivating for me. As I was growing up, Arnold Schwarzenegger was popular, not only bodybuilding, but then got into movies, and seeing him in the movies, and Sylvester Stallone, Rocky 3, I think we went to the show 3 or 4 times to see that. So fitness and bodybuilding and things like that have always been motivating for me. And so I've been working out for close to 45, 50 years. So we want to talk about what's going to keep us motivated to do not only fitness and working out, but all aspects related to health span. And these 7 things that we're going to talk about, they translate into all areas of life where you can try to implement them. But for our discussion, we're talking about health span and longevity. We want to live longer and live stronger. So the first strategy, or first aid in keeping motivated, is to set goals. Set goals and then review them from time to time. There's a saying, if you aim for nothing, you're going to hit it every time. And that's sad but true. We want to have goals. Like, could be I want to lose 30 pounds, or I want to lose 50 pounds, or I want to get in the best shape of my life. I want to get stronger in a certain lift, maybe bench press, or I want to do so many squats a week. Whatever it is, set a goal and then review it from time to time to see, is it working? Do we need to make adjustments? And something that might help in this regard could be to journal, writing things down in a journal. I don't personally journal, but I've always written things down and always have had notes. The actual act of journaling, one day I'm going to have to explore that if there's a real definition, because I think that'll fall into another category as we get down here later about journaling. But I've always written down notes, written down things I want to accomplish, and that's a good way to keep the goals in front of us. But as I said, review them and then make adjustments, but keep going. The second thing we want to do is to break down the task into smaller, like, let's say if you want to lose 30 or 50 pounds, well, that's a big goal, and it's achievable, but it's not going to happen overnight. So you might want to break it down into, well, this month I'd like to lose 10 pounds, or this week 1 or 2 pounds. That's kind of what they say is experts say is a good goal. 1 to 2 pounds is a healthy way to do it and to try to keep it off. But you got to break them down into smaller tasks so it's not overwhelming. If we look at the big picture of where we're starting from sometimes, then it definitely could have an impact on us for moving forward and keeping motivated. We might not feel the greatest about it, but as we're doing it and we're setting little goals and reaching them, we build momentum. And there's a catchy little phrase that I got from Jim Rohn, motivational speaker, says that action creates momentum, momentum fuels motivation. So we want to build momentum, and again, it starts with action. We have to do something to create that momentum, but breaking down these larger goals into smaller ones and then achieving them, that builds the momentum so that we can keep it going. So number 2, break down the task into smaller portions. Number 3, We want to have positive self-talk. We live in a really negative society in this 2025 year we live in. And it's very easy to think negatively, to talk negatively, but we want to be positive. We don't want to always be like, I'm not going to do this, or I'm never going to reach that goal. We want to have the positivity that I will do it, almost as if we've already achieved it. We just haven't gone through the actions yet. So we want to have that positivity. I've mentioned this in another video or two, that I'm a Viking bodybuilder. Who knows what that really is? You probably think that, okay, buddy. But we need to create some kind of positivity of not only what we want to achieve, but who we are. I'll mention that again at the end regarding standards. Our standards are musts. So it's not like, I hope I do this, or maybe, or possibly, but positive that I will achieve this. So positivity is vital. Number 4 is a reward system. So when you work really hard and you achieve, even as we said, some of the smaller goals, reward yourself. It could be something as simple as getting yourself a nice new pair of sneakers for the gym, or a new workout outfit for the gym. But some kind of reward system that you're not doing it for nothing. And I know even just regarding clothes, that's a whole nother topic, but some people can go to the gym and just have an old pair of sweats on and they're fine, but I like to have cool outfits or something that I feel good in. So that could be part of the reward system. Number 5 is find your passion. And if we're passionate about something, usually don't need to be told. Like, football season's coming up very quickly and a lot of people are very passionate. You never have to tell your husband or boyfriend or your sons or daughters nowadays, hey, why don't you go watch the football game? They've already planned the whole day aside for watching their favorite team, got their gear on for their favorite team, and they're passionate about it. So you don't have to tell them. And same thing can go for health, not only for exercising, but for other aspects of health. If you're passionate about it, nobody's going to have to remind you to do it or encourage you to do it. So the motivation will be there. So find aspects of, maybe you're not a fan of lifting weights, but you do it because you need to. But maybe you love swimming or you love going for bike rides. Whatever you have a passion for, feed on that, and that definitely can go a long way in helping us keep the motivation. Number 6, as we're doing this, it's kind of interwoven with health, is we got to take care of ourselves. So whatever goals that you're striving to achieve and motivation that you're trying to keep the momentum going, we need to sleep properly. We need to get 7, 8, 9 hours sleep for some folks, but 7 to 8 hours. We need to eat reasonably well. And those could all be interwoven actually in as part of the goals too, but we need to take care of ourselves and could call for some mindfulness and relaxation. As I mentioned before, journaling, some people do that for mindfulness. Breathing techniques, deep breathing, all these things can help us to maybe lessen the stress in our lives, relaxing. I have a video that says, take it easy, why that's not the mindset we want to have. So when I'm talking about relaxation, there are times where we're just going 100 miles an hour from our work to our families to exercise to health to doing a lot of things. But there is a certain point where you need to slow it down, relax a little bit, detox, get to manage the stress in our lives. And this area, this number 6, would definitely be that of taking good care of ourselves so that we can achieve all the good things that we want to achieve. Number 7 is developing a routine, a good schedule. We don't want to say, well, I'm going to try to get to the gym this week a few times. It's not very clear and it's not very organized. It's not great. So you want to say, well, this week I'm going to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Saturday morning I'm going to get up and go for a bike ride. Sunday morning I'm going to get up and go for a hike. So it's something laid out. So we want to establish a good routine, a schedule, what we're going to do on a daily basis could be, but at least weekly. We don't want to just leave it to chance that, oh, this week maybe I'll do it. So those 7 areas, I'm going to zip through them real quick just as a reminder. Set goals, break down tasks, have positivity, have a reward system, find your passion, feed your passion, take care of yourself, be mindful, and have some relaxation. And number 7, develop a routine and a schedule. Now, in doing this, we have to realize that it may not be easy. We may have setbacks, but at least we have a playlist or a go-to that we can go back and look at what we've done, see how we can improve upon it. As I mentioned at the very beginning about action, it all starts with action. It's kind of like the chicken or the egg. Some people wonder what comes first. Well, it's nice to be motivated, but that comes and goes. And what if it goes, or what if it never comes? Then we're kind of in trouble. But if we take action, then we can build the momentum so that the motivation stays with us. And if you have setbacks, just pick yourself up, regroup, and start again, and find things like, as I showed these at the beginning. Now there's no more magazines. Nobody's making bodybuilding magazines anymore. But with the internet, I'm able to watch a lot of bodybuilding shows, routines, workouts of different individuals, seeing how they eat, train. So there's things that you can do for motivation. Arnold and Sylvester aren't maybe making the movies anymore. They're still in show business, but it's not like when they were young and totally fit. They're still inspiring that they, at their age in their mid to late 70s, they both still train. But you got guys like The Rock, Zac Efron's in really good shape. There's a fellow who plays Thor. Can't think of his name right now. But there's still a lot today. Even something that I was into when I was young, not as much anymore, but wrestling. There's a lot of guys that are really fit, and for men, that's kind of sometimes what inspires men to see other fit men. But again, you can do that on the internet. There's a lot of fitness influencers. But all of these things, why do we want to be motivated is, especially as we age, this whole, my channel deals with health span and longevity. So I'm talking to everybody, whether it's a teenager, but I would think the majority that are listening are probably 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. It gets harder. Everything gets harder as we get older. It's not going to get any easier. So motivation is something that really got to work at. And as I mentioned earlier, we live in a negative society, and the low desire society that I mentioned regarding Japan, which I encourage you to look up. There's the video, if you punch it in on YouTube, this young Japanese man talks about this. And some people feel that all the chemicals that we have to deal with, plastics and things like that, affect people's hormones. Like testosterone levels are way down as compared to our parents, our fathers from 20, 30 years ago. So some feel that that's why there's not a lot of motivation for people. And even in our society, I'll see video headlines or news headlines how there's millions of young men with no desire to work. So desire kind of goes hand in hand with motivation, and feel how busy we are, how challenging it is when we get older. If we don't have the desire or motivation, that's a deep ravine to try to crawl out of and to do things that are good for us. So keep in mind these 7 strategies, and I encourage you to write some comments. What motivates you? Leave some comments below so that our community, as we try to encourage each other, what motivates you, what helps you to keep going, that might help somebody else. So I encourage you to leave those comments, and also to smash the like button and the subscribe button. Look forward to future content, and remember to exert yourself elevate your health and evolve in mind and body. I really appreciate you watching and look forward to giving you more content in the future that hopefully will motivate and inspire.